Yes, fish fans, it's only Bonesy and welcome to a brand new series called Tracking Back. What we're going to do in this series is we're going to take our team of anglers back to the places where they cut their teeth in carp fishing. And for me, that is the place that I am now. It is called Jubilee Pools at Wrighton-on-Dunsmore in Coventry. I used to come here as a small boy, fishing with my best mate. I used to hassle my parents every weekend to drag me down here. I was absolutely hooked. I can remember catching my very first carp out of this lake and it was about 4 pegs to my right. It was a mid-double mirror. I remember my B-Tech Viper going off, absolutely melting, ran down, hooked into this fish, and I can just remember shaking like this trying to get it in because I was so excited to be catching that carp. Last night I couldn't sleep at the thought of coming back here. It's probably been a good 20 odd years since I've fished at this lake. To give you an idea, when I was last fishing here, there wasn't any trees around it. This is a club water. It's run by Leamington District Angling Association. It's only £7 to fish it for the day, and there's a big mix of fish in here, but there was always carp when I was a kid, and that's all I wanted to catch, and it's still how I fish today. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get my rods out, I'm going to have a little nose about, see if I can find anything, see if I can see any fish, and I'm going to try and get some fish on the bank, and I'm going to try and share some of those memories for you to show you where we started. And for that, it's here for me, and I am absolutely buzzing at the thought of getting fishing on here again. It's about, I reckon, looking at it, 100 yards, 110 yards to that island. I'm going to fish off just off the corner of it because I've seen a fish show underneath a willow. There's a bush sticks out. If I can put one to the left of that bush, little bottom bait rig, little mesh bag on it, bit of flavour, just bang it out and try and see if I can get a quick bite. You always put a bit of bread on the thing, and we'd use the sandwiches to get the bread, pull it apart, lob it in, and we'd do it over on the horseshoe lake at the back. You'd lob it in, then you put the hook in. By the time they'd come up and started feeding on it, the bread had come off your hook.
Out of the way, guys. Out of the way.
Didn't take long, did it? I didn't think it'd take long to go off by that island. That was really tight. I'll tell you what, guys, this is awesome. 25 years since I've cast a rod in here, it's got to be. Wish I could catch them like this when I was when I used to come here. I'll tell you that much. It used to take us weeks to catch one. Oh, my heart's going like it did 20 years ago. Oi, oi, would you look at that? 25 years on and I can still catch them out of here. Look at that, I'm buzzing. Look at that. I'm proper buzzing for that. Probably about £7 or £8, but to come back here and catch a fish out of here is, oh, it was mega. My heart was absolutely pounding bringing that fish in. It's just been so long since I've been to this venue and it's changed so much. But I've dispatched a good old German rig tight to that island that's over there. It's just about 100 yards. Little bag of bug-free offerings, and she's tanked off about 10 minutes later. I'm absolutely buzzing. Hopefully we'll have a few more of these today and we can have a really nice little session. To come back here though, for me, it's just incredible. It's really, really like, oh God, I can't explain it. I'm proper buzzing. Man's made schoolboy, isn't he? Set up a park in where the sun's going to come around and blister me. Being a ginger has its upsides and its downsides. Certain women that like a ginger, and you know, they can't help it. We have a certain appeal, Gaz. What appeals to a girl who likes gingers? Sick and biscuits. So what I'm going to do now I've had a quick bite off the island, is I'm going to try and get a spot going. I've had a little cast around. This is an old sand pit, this lake, and the bottom's really clear, it's really firm. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clip up. I found a nice, it's about 60 yards, really firm, really clear, nice distance to fish. I'm going to put a bit of bait out and then I'm going to see if I can get some fish going over the bait. Keep one on the island for now, put one on the bait. If I start getting bites off the bait, I can switch two across. And then if we don't start getting a load of fish, I think what we might do is we might even have a little wander around with the floater rod, because over the back of the lake, over the other side of the island, it's flat calm. And I think if I can get them going on floaters, we could have some right fun with the floater rod. But this is mega being back here, absolutely mega. Let's get some bait then. I'm going to just do a simple mix. I've got some boilie here. I'm going to put a few handfuls of full boilie. Not much, I'm not going to bait up loads. And then I'm going to put out some chops. So I'll just give some a pinch. Take me a few minutes to pinch a few through. I could use a crusher. I think I've got one in the bag. I'm just going to put some chopped boilie, then I'm going to put some pellet on. I don't know with the pellet though, because this being a match fishery, there's a lot of anglers I've noticed around here method feeder fishing, and I'm thinking there's quite a lot of bream and stuff in here. So I might just go mostly boilie with a bit of pellet in as well. But if I start picking up bream, then I'm going to get a bit disheartened. I don't want to catch a load of slimy bad boys today. Wouldn't be so bad if I was sat in the box, but if I'm sat here trying to carp fish, then I don't want to be catching the old slime monsters. We're just going to make a mix, probably enough for about, I don't know, 5-10 spoms. I've got a medium spom on. It's going to get a little bit of bait out there, a little bit of smell in the water. It's quite murky, so I'm thinking if I get some liquid over it as well, try and get some attraction there. They're not going to see the bait, they'll smell it before they see it. And hopefully we can throw the rod back over the top of it and get a few fish going and have a nice little day sesh. Loving the day sesh angling, Gaz. It's all about the day sesh. Funny, you forget about these places where you started, you get a little bit sidetracked with other waters and bigger fish and things like that. But I can remember being here in my younger years, reading magazine articles, and I remember really vividly one article was about how to make a throwing stick, and you took a little bit of electrical conduit, just a bit of tube, you cut it to about 1.5 meters, you got a little bit of foam, stuck it in the bottom and taped up the bottom, and that was your throwing stick. And we used to come up here and I used to buy a kilo of boilie, and I was so protective of a kilo of boilie because it was, you know, it was so expensive to me at the time. And, you know, I'd cast a rig out and I'd put a little stringer on, and then I'd use this throwing stick to try and get some baits around it. And I must have been baiting an area the size of a penalty box. It was unreal. So it's nice to come back. I've actually so I've got one rod tight on the island that's about 100 yards. And then I've gone to a spot which would have been about where I fished when I was young. And what I've done is I've put some spod out, a mixture of pellet, chopped boilie and a little bit of liquid, and I've put one bang on top of it. And I just want to see if I could get a few fish going. I'm not really 100% sure what's in here anymore. I know there's a few carp. I know there's a lot of bream. It sees a lot of different style of anglers. You'll get pole anglers down here, carp anglers, general course anglers, you know. So I'm just so excited to be honest with you. I think I want to come back again tomorrow and do a little bit more. But yeah, we're going to see where the day takes us. It's about 11, half 11 now. And we've had that one fish, so hopefully we can bag a few more. But for now, I'm just going to sit here and reminisce about sitting up here with my best mate. It's mega, absolutely mega to be back. Oh, guys, I'm away. Oh, it's come off. That's a bit positive. Bite off that spot. Let's get on back out there. We're definitely going for a wander with a floater rod in a bit, Cuz. I think it's definitely going to have to be a bit of that. Just watching that fish take them floaters, then it was like, no, 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 no. Oh, he's back, look. He's on him again. There's only one fish there though. I think we need to go over the back of the island or somewhere out the wind where we could perhaps try and get them going. Like a kid. We've had a lovely wander around, thrown floaters at a few fish, but unfortunately they weren't there in numbers to try and get them going. It's very strange. We've got a lot of wind. It's blowing this way, so we went on the back to try and this is exactly how I used to fish it as a kid. You'd be one place, you wouldn't have a bite for a bit, so we'd go for a wander trying to find another fish. But what we decided, we've had a go on the floaters, managed to get one fish going, that was it. So we've done a full lap of the lake. We've come back to where we started, where we put a little bit of bait. So we're going to sit the afternoon out now on the bait, see if we can get a couple of fish off that. And then we'll be back tomorrow, and the weather's going to be a bit different, and see what tomorrow brings. But for now, I'm going to go back on that bait and see if we can catch fish. I'll just quickly show you what I'm using. Using the simple German rig. It's one of my favourite rigs at the minute, that's for sure. It's so simple and quick to tie. Just a simple knotless knot, trim off the hair, hook swivel and a hook bead. And that's it. You don't have to peel off the coating, because the idea is the coating gives it a bit of a kick. So you don't need to add any tubing and steam anything down. Super simple, quick to tie. It's fantastic. I just like it because it's easy and simple. Got me thinking a little bit about the rigs we used to use back then. It's hard to remember what. I imagine that I was just using a mono link with a hair. I do remember that the leads we used to use were dead flat and they'd got a little ridge on the top, and it always was on the line running. We just used to thread the line straight through the swivel on the lead, little bead and a swivel, and then you tie your hook link to the swivel, and that was it. That was all you did, and you cast that as far as you could and tightened up to it. Then I'd set up my little pod, which had got these monkey climbers on, and I had a pair of BTEC Vipers that I was super proud of. And that was it. We'd sit here for hours and hours and hours, me and my mate, and just hoping for a fish. We never used to catch a huge amount. To be honest with you, it hasn't been that much different today. I've had one and lost one. But this place just has some great memories for me, and it makes me think there's so many people out there that seem to want to desperately catch big fish straight away in fishing. And this for me is just as much fun. I've never been a big fish angler. For me, it's always been a bit about numbers, you know, the match side of things, you know, fishing with the England squad, fishing, doing the British Championships in this country, you know, even sitting on the matchbox. It's big fish. I like catching big fish, don't get me wrong, but I was never somebody that went out to target big fish. And I think I'll probably come back here. I was chatting with Gaz earlier, and he was saying how he'd like to bring his kids here because it's such a lovely, lovely venue. And I can see why I enjoyed it so much as a kid, but it's so nice to come back after 25 years. So yeah, let's hope we can catch a few more this afternoon. Well, we've had a few barries, and barries are not what we're here for. However, I've enjoyed myself being here today. It's been so good to come back, and I've managed to convince Gary to let me come back tomorrow. So it's a different day tomorrow. Weather's changing. It's going to get a little bit cooler. There's going to be a little bit of rain. So what I'm doing, I've dropped in the swim next door, which is a bit close to the island. I've clipped up to the island, and I'm just putting a big lump of bait out, hoping that the fish will get on it later on, and when we turn up first thing in the morning, bang some rods up, hopefully have a quick bite. But what we're going to do, once this is out, going to reel in, we're going to pack the stuff in the car apart from the rods, we're going to fish some of the swims down there, drop them down the margin, see if we can nick a fish. You've got to be off the fishery by 8 o'clock on the dot, and what I want to be able to do is fish the maximum amount of time we can. So if the rods ain't gone off, we can jump in the car and be straight out the gate by 8. But for now, I've got another 20-30 spoms to put out. So I'm going to get them out to the island. Yes, fish fans, we're back at the lake and I feel like a child. I've met my mate here and we're getting around nice and early. First on the lake, sun's just come up and I'm heading straight back to the swim where we put a bit of bait yesterday. And hopefully those fish have found it and we're going to be able to cast in and get one. So I'm going to get to my swim, see if I can bag a fish. So back in the swim that I baited yesterday, and I baited to the island, which is, there's like some roots going in the water, and that's where I put the bait. And this is the swim next door to where I caught my first carp. I caught my first carp just a little bit up the lake up there. I remember it was just to the right of this island. So yeah, so I'm buzzing. So enough filming, I want to get my rods out. Fish straight over the top of that. There you go, that's on, guys. Could have just been a line of that. That's way over. Rod's only been in the water about 6-7 minutes. Put the first one out, bang on the money where we put the bait yesterday. Then the second one out, just to the left of it. Just had a liner on the left hand one and the right hand one's tanked off. Tell you what, guys, we need to come back visiting here a little bit more. Lovely time of the morning. I think there's only one other person on the lake at the minute. I mean, why aren't people coming to places like this? I think the kids went back to school today, to be fair, innit? It's so it's going to be a little bit quieter, and we are expected to have some rain later, but this, look at that. Not even 10 minutes in the water and we're away already. Let's see where that one's gone. I think he's going over the top of that other line. Let's just make sure he don't pick it up. No, he's picked it up. So let's make sure he kites across. Ready? Bit of unknitting. Oh, there we go. It's quite a good thing to remember. If the line moves, the fish has always gone under it. So all you got to do when it kites, just pass your rod underneath the other rod and it's untangled. A lot of people let it keep going and think, well, it'll be all right, I'll figure it out. But then if it goes under and comes back the other way, then you're really in trouble. Then you're double knitting, and double knitting's always great fun. This is kiting left again, so I'll just watch where my line is in the water. It starts to move. There we go, it's gone over the line. Is the line moving? Nope. Can't see it moving. Fish is still kiting, so it's gone over the top of the line, so I'm not worried about getting tangled up. Now I'll just put some pressure on it to the right, so we can turn it a little bit. Here she comes. A Matchman crank, keeping the tip low. It stops the fish going crazy because you're not trying to pull it up out of the water. You're just pulling it along in the water. Now I know there's a bit of a snag on my left here, so let's just see where it is. I always remember when it hits, there we go, I've just hit the knot for my leader, so I know sort of about where the fish is. It'll come down here, I just need to get the net, just get the cameraman out the way. Ooh. Let's get this net over. And there she is, look at that. Oh God, my heart's pounding. Oh, come on. First fish of the day. Oh, she's got a bit of poke to her. They have put some new stockies in here, some new VS fish. Oh, wondering if it could be one of them. It's not that deep in the edge here either. It's only about 2 foot, 3 foot. I remember because we used to put our rods straight on the bottom of the lake because they never used to have platforms. So you used to climb down the bank and your rod went on the lake bed, which is all sand. And you used to have to run down these embankments, slipping arse over tit sometimes. There he is. Oh, he's a little fighty mirror. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, come up too early. There he is. Is he done? He looks like he's done. Let's get that net out to him. Over the net cord he goes. First fish of the morning. Happy days. Look at that. Could almost be the fish I caught when I was a kid. Lovely little mirror. There he is. Little wafter in the side of his mouth. So there we go, first fish in the net. What I've done, unhooked it quickly, wrapped the rod up. Something to think about on day sessions is I just want to try and catch as many fish as I can. Now, is there more fish there? Did I spook them off because you're fishing too tight to the island? I don't know, but my important part is to get the rod straight back out and then get the fish out, do some snaps. So I'm going to dispatch this rod quickly and then we'll get the fish out. Ooh. Oh, that's right on top of that other one. I think we're to the right, so we should be right. So there we go, little Jubilee mirror. That first fish that tanked off in under 10 minutes. And it just showed that putting a bit of bait out last night obviously worked. The fish were there, dropped straight onto it. It did go a little bit mad on the island, so I'm wondering if it spooked the fish away, but only time will tell. 2 more rods back on the spot. This one's going to go back in the lake and we're going to hopefully have some more. But for now, come on the Jubilee mirrors. Yep, we're good. Rolling. So there we go. We've just got that fish back. The rod's tanked off again. This will be the second carp of the morning. Definitely feels like a carp and not a breams. But yeah, it shows, doesn't it? God, I wish I knew how to fish like this when I was a kid. The amount of days we spent here not catching anything. A little bit of bait the night before. Straight on it this morning, 2 bites. Hopefully we can have a few more like this today. Could turn into a good fun session. Heads up. Heads up. In the net. There he goes. That's number 2. Here we go. Another little Jubilee stunner. They are really small, but who cares? I'm having so much fun down here. It literally is like being a kid again. Can't wait to get the rod back out and see if we can bang out another one. Lost one at the net. I think that was because I had this one in the net still. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. We'll hopefully bag a few more before the day's out. But yeah, but absolutely buzzing. It's great fun down here. There we go, another little common from Jubilee Pools. It's definitely been eating my bait because there's loads of it all over the mat. That's 5 bites I've had, I've lost 2. And I've had a blem, gotta love a blem. But this is the 3rd carp and she's a little bit bigger. She's got a little bit of a funny shape to her, so we're gonna name her the banana. But the rods are straight back out on the spot. Sometimes this one actually went off as I cast it out, literally putting the bobbin on, it was gone. So I think when they're there, you just get instant bites. But yeah, having a mega day down here, and it really is nice to catch a few fish out of here. I don't think I've ever come down here and caught a load. It was always catching the odd fish, if I was lucky. So we're gonna fire this one back and carry on catching a few, hopefully. Well, there we go. Another little hard fighting Jubilee Pools common. It's really been really funny. 4 out of the 5 fish I've landed have all been commons. What I'm doing now, as we're getting bites, I'm trying to see if the little mesh bag makes a difference. So I'm fishing dead tight to the island. It is, you know, you can see from the footage that we've got that I am pretty close to the thing. And I did put the last one out, and this fish was actually caught without a PVA bag. So I'm going to see if the bites slow up from not putting a little mesh bag on. But for now I'm going to fire this back and I'm going to wait and see if those 2 go off, because both rods at the minute haven't got bags on. If they haven't gone off in the next 10-15 minutes, I'm going to swap them over to a PVA bag and see if that little mesh bag just gets you a quicker bite. But for now, let's put this little bagger back. Well, the bite seems to have slowed up a little bit. I don't know if it's because I took them mesh bags off or not. I've gone back on the mesh bags, but we still haven't had a bite for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and Gaz is getting antsy. So it's either a move, which I don't think I'm going to do because we've had bites from here, and moving around yesterday didn't really help too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit more bait out. I haven't baited up since last night, so I'm going to reel both rods in. I'm going to put a bit of bait out, leave it for 20 minutes, half an hour, so there's no lines in there, maybe let the fish get in, and then see if we can bag a few more this afternoon. But for now, I'm going to sit here squashing boilies. So I'm just going to top up with a few baits. Not going to put many out, probably 6-8 spoms, just along the island, along that, like, where the roots coming in the water, which is where I'm fishing. And just see if it makes a difference. I might bring the lines in off it, just to see if it makes a difference, because the bites have slowed down. You know, we were getting constant bites, and now we're not, so it's like, wonder what's changed. So yeah, a little bit of bait, just bring the rods in off it for half an hour, then put them back on, see if we can get some bites.
I said you were right, but you won't talk to me, talk to me. I said you were right, but you won't talk to me, talk to me.
So we've had a little rebait, but the wind's really picked up into my face, and I just felt, looking at where the clip was, that it wasn't going as far into the island. So we had a little lull in the weather. The wind seemed to just drop a little bit, and I've had a rechuck and it's gone off within about 5 or 6 minutes, which says to me that because of the bow in the line from the wind, I wasn't actually getting anywhere near as close to the island as I was before. So it just shows that just a little change, you know, and so there we go. We had a little bait up, and I still hadn't had a bite for a bit, but the wind has really picked up and it's come right at me, and I just felt that this rod hadn't quite gone as tight to the island as the other ones. Because of the bow in the line, when I was reeling it back in, I noticed that I was putting a few turns on the reel before I was tightening up, which to me said that it wasn't tight enough to where it needed to be. And of course, there was just a little bit of a lull in the wind. I've put another little PVA bag on, punted it straight out at the island, and it's gone off within about 10 minutes, which says to me that that's just how important it is to have it bang smack in the right place. So let's see if we can do it again. There we go, right little scamp. It just showed that putting that rod back out again, because I wasn't happy with it, made a difference. This bite went off almost straight away. The wind's picked up again now, so I'm getting a bit of bow in the line again, and I'm a bit worried that I'm not tight enough, but we'll wait and see. But look at this, I've had such a good day today. We've caught lots of these little fish. It's been great fun, they've put up great scraps, and this place really needs supporting. They've had loads of issues with otters. They've now got it fenced, spent a lot of money having it fenced, and remember this is only a club water. So keep supporting your local clubs, because you know these places are places where you can cut your teeth, where you can catch lots of little fish like this and learn loads. So yeah, I'm going to fire this one back and hopefully we can catch a few more. So there we go. We just thought we'd put the last bit of bait out. We hadn't had a bite in a while. 6 bombs out and the rod's tanked off. So they obviously like a little bit of food in here. It's very different to when I came here at about 12, 13 years old. But it's nice to be getting bites, that's for sure. We've had a big old rainstorm and both got absolutely soaked. But yeah, we've managed to get into another one. I'm so glad we decided to do this series, because this for me is just, it's just made me remember what it's like to fish on little places like this and just have great fun catching loads of fish, not just sitting it out all the time. So I think the plan is I might have to come back with Gaz, maybe bring his kids and mine, and yeah, come and spank a few more carp out. I love almost a double take. One's in the net. Bonus about barbless hooks, you can just reach in and out it comes. And the other rod's tanked off. So obviously a little bait has definitely made a huge difference. But I think this is going to be our last couple of fish of the day. An absolutely awesome session. I absolutely love coming back here. And I can't wait to film some of these with other people, just to see if they enjoy themselves and have the memories that I do. I'm playing in the rain. Just playing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. That's 2 in the net. So there we go. There's the little mirror from that double bubble. Had a mirror in a common, quick succession, just as the rain started and after a little bit of bait. I've reeled in now, so we're going to be done for the day. We're going to get this fish back. I've had an absolutely blinding time coming back here. It really has brought some great memories back, and all the reasons I used to carp fish and all the reasons I still carp fish now. So I hope you've enjoyed our Back to the Roots. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because there's going to be loads more of these sort of videos coming from us. But for us now and from this little fella, we'll catch you soon. See you later, fish fans. Job done.